Ouija boards. Some people like them, some people not so much. Me personally, I find them very fascinating, and I can't believe I've never made one. What's up, y'all? My name's Andy. This is Epeius Garage. My good friend Amanda had another awesome idea, and it was to make a Ouija board. This is a cool idea because you can get creative. You can make it your own. You can do whatever you want. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I make my Ouija board, and I'll show you the materials, any stencils, whatever I get. I'll put it all in the video, and this will be kind of winging it as we go. So just follow along on the little adventure. And yes, at the end of the video, I've got to test my product. I don't want anybody to return it saying it doesn't work. I am going to test the Ouija board. It may get a little spooky, so make sure you watch the end of this, see what happens. So I'll be honest, I'm winging this. I thought I was going to use some old reclaimed wood, you know, give it that old rustic look that everybody loves. But I don't have time for that. I travel for my real job, and I've got other videos to shoot. So what I did is we're going to start with a 1x4 by 8 foot piece of pine from the big box store. I bought the better quality one, doesn't have all the knots, which nothing wrong with knots. What I plan on doing with that is I'm going to cut it to length, however many I need, and then I'm going to joint the edges on my table saw, put them together to make one solid board. And for the little planchette piece, the game piece, I went ahead and bought a 1/2 inch by 6 inch by 2 foot piece of poplar, and I'll make that planchette out of this. Okay, I cut 5 boards at 22 inches long. After I cut each board, I ran them through the table saw for each edge so I can glue them up, and they got a nice tight fit. That brings me to my final dimension, around 17¼ by 22. Now the size isn't random. I bought this stencil that I'm going to kind of utilize some of this, mainly the letters on this board. So I will cut this board down and do more with it. And then I went ahead and bought some 5-pointed star and some celestial stencils. And of course I'll link these in the description if you want to use them. After jointing all the boards, got all the edges nice and straight, I'm going to go ahead and glue them up. I use Titebond 2. It's my go-to choice. And then I'm going to use these Harbor Freight clamps. Yeah, I just did a video on these Harbor Freight clamps. If you're looking for some inexpensive clamps that work really well, you can check it out. I'll link it in the description. I'm really not sure what to do after this point. Remove my clamps, and now I got to figure out the shape of the board. I do know that I don't want it to be just a plain, you know, rectangle. I want it to have some shape, maybe curvature. I don't know. This is the part where you got to get creative, and in my opinion, it's the fun part. Just FYI, let these set probably for 3 or 4 hours maybe. It'll be plenty good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this board down to final size. Not quite sure what that's going to be yet. A little bit bigger than my stencil. And from there, I may do something with the edges, make them round. I'm going to use my 4-inch grinder with a 60 grit flapper wheel on it and go around the edges and give it some texture and some character. See how this turns out. Alright, got the texture on there. Went ahead and burned it a little bit. Original plan was to trace all these letters on there and take my wood burner and burn every single one of them. I ain't got time for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stencil in there where I want it. I'm going to paint all the letters black. And then any of the decorative stuff I'm going to draw on there, trace on there, whatever I need to do. And then I'm going to use my wood burner. We'll see. A lot better. Well, it looks like the stencil is the way to go. I did have some issues with the stencil though. As you can see in the video, I have to redo it because it bled through the thin parts. I used too much paint, my fault. I went back, sanded it all off, started fresh. And the second time, a little bit drier brush, not so much paint, turned out absolutely perfect. Then after I did that and I wood burned everything, all the designs on there, I went ahead and I gave it about 2 or 3 coats of spray lacquer just for some protection and gives a little gleam. In order for the Ouija board to work properly, you need what's called a planchette. That is the little piece of wood that you use, that the spirits use to move around and tell you what's going on. What I did is I printed out some with the design I like. Printed out 2 for a reason. One I'm going to cut out. I'm going to put it on the poplar with an adhesive, cut it out with my jigsaw. Then the other one, after I get that all sanded, I may use part of this design later to wood burn on there. I kind of like some of the aspects in it. I think it looks kind of cool. So, I don't know. We'll see. So, for the planchette, I went ahead and added a little hole to it. What I ended up doing is I used a Forstner bit. First Forstner bit I used was 1 1/8 inch. Brought it to the depth that I wanted. Then I used a hole saw bit to cut out the plastic. I did that 1 1/8 inch as well because it's going to be slightly smaller than the hole. For the final bit, I took a 1 inch Forstner bit and I drilled all the way through. And that ended up giving me a little lip there. And then all I did is I took some clear silicone and siliconed it in. So now you got a little mirror for your planchette. I think it turned out pretty cool. What do y'all think? After cutting it out, sanding it down, putting the holes in it, like I described, it's time to get creative and decorate it. And that was the fun part. I went ahead and used some of the designs off that template, just got creative. I got wood burner and a torch, burned the bottom of it, added some felt strips. You know, just make it yours, make it your own. That's the best part about making these, is you can make one of a kind. And that was it on the planchette. So that's it. I think it turned out really cool. I wish I would have made these sooner. Thanks, Amanda, for the idea. I'm probably going to either give this as a gift or maybe I'll sell it online. What do y'all think I should do with it? Hey, but now we got to make sure that it actually works. I don't want anybody coming back claiming refunds because they didn't call any spirits. So let's do that next. All right, y'all. So now I've never tried this before, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot, okay? I'm really not expecting much out of this. Hello, spirits. Are there any spirits out there? Where's this fog coming from? God. Oh. Oh, God. All right. This is ridiculous. Tame it down. Fog gone. All right. Fog's gone. Let's try this again. Hello, spirits. Is there anyone out there? I think it moved. Whoa. Whoa. That's weird. Oh, good. Well, at least it went to no, so there must be no spirits out there. Wait a second. Who moved it? Uh-oh.